Welcome to the PPG Residential Painter Training Series, helping you add more services and jobs to your painting business. I'm your host, Jim Cerrone. We're here at this house today to demonstrate the proper way to clean, prep, and coat a deck or fencing. Keep in mind, no two jobs are exactly alike. The final decision is always up to you. Let's head to the backyard. We're here in the backyard with Bob Johnson of PPG Technical Services. He's going to show us the right way to tackle a deck or fencing project. Bob, what do we need to get started?
Jim, every job starts with having the right tools, and coating a deck or fence is no different. Some of the items you may need are stain brushes, roller cover and frame, deck and fence cleaner, scrub brush, pressure washer, pump-up sprayers, an airless sprayer, an extension cord, empty buckets, a bucket screen, cleanup cloths, plastic sheeting, and a good quality stain.
Now that we know what we need, how do we get started?
First step in coating a deck or fence is to properly clean the surface. Let me show you why proper cleaning is so important. As you can see, we've got a panel made up of aged, weathered fence boards. On the right-hand side, there was no prep. On the left-hand side, it was treated with PPG's deck and fence cleaner. The cleaner was sprayed on, allowed to work for about 5 or 10 minutes, scrubbed with a brush, and then rinsed off with the garden hose. Once it was thoroughly dry, the boards were stained.
Now, are they different stains?
No, actually it's both the same stain. It's PPG's acrylic oil, water-based cedar transparent stain. Just the difference in clean versus unclean wood, you get this drastic difference in color.
So prepping and cleaning makes a huge difference.
That's very important. If you can imagine replacing a couple boards in the fence and not cleaning it first, then you would have this type of difference on your fence when you went to stain it.
I know it's also important to understand what type of surface you're working with so the right product can be applied. What do we have today?
Today we're working on this fence, which is 1 year seasoned pressure treated pine. As you can see, the fence has not been previously stained. All wood, even pressure treated, will turn gray over time, so we need to properly prepare the surface to remove any contaminants and make sure it's porous enough for the coating to penetrate in. No matter if you're cleaning new, weathered, or pre-painted wood, the surface needs to be cleaned to remove mildew to allow for maximum adhesion to the wood. Next, you'll want to repair any structural damages, replace any screws and nails. Use a deck and fence cleaner like PPG Deck and Fence Cleaner, which, unlike bleach, will penetrate into the wood and lift the dirt, which can then easily be rinsed away. Spray the cleaner and lightly scrub with an upright brush like the Wooster Workhorse pole-mounted brush.
If you do have an old coat of paint or solid color stain, you'll want to use the tape peel test to determine if the wood needs to be stripped before applying the new coat. First, use a putty knife or sharp object to cut an X in 2 or 3 spots on the surface. Now be careful not to cut into the wood and leave a mark. Cover your X with duct tape. Firmly press down and then quickly pull off.
If any flakes of old paint are stuck on the tape, then your wood needs to be stripped.
To remove an old coat of paint or stain, make sure the surface is dry. Test a small area on the surface to ensure adhesion. Then apply the stain stripper where paint or stain needs to be removed. You may need to scrub with a stiff bristle brush or scrape in the direction of the wood to get the paint to lift off. Rinse the area thoroughly with a garden hose or pressure washer. Once the surface is dry, sand it with an 80 to 100 grit sandpaper. That will ensure the new coating will properly adhere.
If the surface does not have an old coating, like what we have here today, you just need to clean the surface with a garden hose, with the pressure nozzle, and the PPG deck cleaner. Many contractors prefer to use a pressure washer for the ease and speed of cleaning. That's fine. With the PPG deck cleaner, that's not necessary. If you should choose to go that route, you need to be aware of a few precautions. If you get too close, use too high of a pressure, or use a fan tip with too low of an angle degree nozzle, you can actually damage the wood.
Now that the surface is cleaned and stripped, how do we know it's ready to be stained?
Let me show you. Let's head over to the deck.
On this job, we're doing both the fence and the deck for the homeowner. How are those two surfaces different, Bob?
Usually wood used for fences is more rough sawn, where 5/4 decking is naturally smoother from the mill.
Now, is this deck ready for stain?
As you can see, we've already cleaned this deck. The first thing we need to do is test for water absorption to determine if the wood will soak in the stain or seal it.
For this, just pour a cup of water over a few areas on the deck. Wait 10 minutes to see if the water was absorbed. If the water beads, then the old coat is not porous enough and staining over an old coating may result in damage to the wood surface. As you can see here, the surface darkened, showing the water was absorbed, so we're ready to stain. After preparing the surface, you're ready to coat it.
Because we've got some wind today, we're not going to be able to use the airless sprayer, so we're going to have to actually brush the entire deck.
Without protection, direct exposure to the sun can bleach the wood and cause it to weather, giving it that worn gray look. Rainwater can cause the wood to splinter and crack. It can also lead to the growth of mold, mildew, algae, or fungus, which can cause the wood to decay. Today, we're using a PPG stain that contains mildewcide, which helps to protect the surface from mold or mildew growth.
As you can see, the homeowner has chosen a darker color stain, as opposed to the natural cedar look that we saw on the fence earlier.
AcryShield acrylic oil stain from PPG Porter Paints and Sunproof stain from PPG Pittsburgh Paints can be used on damp as well as dry wood for same-day cleaning and staining, and can also be applied in cooler temperatures down to 35 degrees. These products have UV protection that allows for longer color retention to keep the deck looking newer longer. These products also easily clean up with soap and water, saving you time. Using a brush like the Wooster Bravo 4 3/4 stain brush, start with the spindles, working your way down the decking, maintaining a wet edge at all times to avoid lap marks. You can use an airless sprayer like the Graco 390 or 395 to spray on the premium stain, because it provides pressure control that delivers a consistent spray fan without pressure fluctuation. It's lightweight and perfect for a wide range of coatings. No matter which sprayer you use, make sure you're comfortable with how it sprays. You may also roll on the stain. But regardless of your application method, you should always back brush the stain into the wood for maximum penetration. Do not apply the stain in direct sunlight, as this will cause the stain to dry too quickly. Always maintain a wet edge to avoid lap marks on the decking.
The stain should be dry to touch in 2 hours. Wait overnight before putting furniture back on the deck.
Now the homeowners can enjoy their finished outdoor deck. Fencing and decks are a great way to add additional services to your customers. Many homeowners are looking to redefine their yards into active family living spaces. Now you can add this to your list of services. Doing the proper prep and top coat work ensures a satisfied homeowner that will call you the next time they need service. Keep visiting ppgpro.com for more videos for professional paint solutions.